Welcome to We Are Soccer. Today, we're joined by new Detroit City FC defender, Matt Sheldon. Matt, welcome to We Are Soccer.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, before we dive into the questions, I do want to let everybody know, man, you've got two wildly popular YouTube channels. One is called Become Elite, and the other one is the Against All Odds podcast with Matt Sheldon. Tell us a little bit about them. I'm a big fan, by the way. I've been watching them for a while now, but huge fan. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, no, thank you. It means a lot. Basically, I just started a YouTube channel kind of with the idea of showing the behind the scenes of professional soccer, just because when I got my first time training with the pro team, a lot was eye-opening to me. A lot was how I expected it to be, but it was just cool. And I was like, I just want to share this, what I've learned. And I just kind of kept it going for the last 9 years. And it's just kind of grown every single year, a little bit more and more and more. And then the other one, Against All Odds, I just would hear my teammates' stories about their careers. Thought it was amazing. I was like, people need to hear some of these stories and how people got here. It's not all sunshine and rainbows every single year. So that was the idea behind the podcast, of sharing some amazing stories of my teammates that got to the pro level.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm really digging into the Against All Odds, but I've been watching a lot recently of the Become Elite your YouTube channel, and I love the behind the scenes with your family and the game day prep. And if people want to know what a professional soccer player does the day before a game, the day of a game, and after a game, I highly recommend your channel, man.
Yeah, thank you. And that was the goal. It really was just to try to be as authentic as possible. Literally just have it be my life with just setting up a tripod 10 minutes earlier. But that's been the goal for sure.
Well, it comes across very well. Let's jump in. I want to get to it. This is your first year with Detroit City FC. How is it? How is it now that you've been here a couple of weeks, had a couple of games, 6 games under your belt, settling in with the team and the city? How is it?
It's been amazing. It's honestly been the best transition I think I've had in the USL. Just the people that run Detroit City, the coaching staff, the players that have been here for years. It's just been such an easy transition. Immediately when I got in, it was like, what can we do for you? If you're looking for neighborhoods, you're looking for houses, you're looking to get settled in. And then the training and just how the whole organization is run top to bottom has just been so great. And it's been really, really enjoyable so far. And we've had a good start to the season, which always makes that better as well.
Yeah, one of the best starts Detroit City's had in a long time, so it's great. Did you know much about the new coach, new head coach Danny Dichio before you signed, and was it enticing to come and play for him here at Detroit?
Yeah. I had seen Sacramento's success over the years, and I knew that he was on the coaching staff. I know this was one of his first head coaching gigs that he had. So, but at the same time, like I knew just from his experience playing as a player, that's something that was big to me, is having a player's coach that's been in your shoes and can understand where you're coming from. But then also wherever he's gone, it seems like there's been a lot of success. So it was really enticing to do that. Plus having Trevor James and the whole history behind him here and his whole coaching history and experience, it just seemed like a no-brainer to me for sure.
That's awesome. All right, I got to ask real quick, why the number 13? Is that a number you've had prior? Is that the number you were given randomly? What happened there?
Yeah, so I've been wearing number 13 since I was like probably about 13 years old, 14 years old, to be honest. My mom was born on Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And so she had this big thing about like unlucky stuff being lucky for us. And I have this one story where before I went to a trial, my first semi-pro trial with the San Jose Earthquakes U23s back in the PDL, right as I'm walking on the field, like 3 steps, I'm about to step on the field, a black cat just darts right in front of my path. And I was like, oh, it's going to be a great trial. I just knew I was going to kill it. And it did. I had a great trial. Everything went well. And I'm like, that's it. And so it's always been like unlucky things, walking under ladders, black cats. It's lucky for me and my mom and my family.
That is awesome. I'm not sure if you know, but the original Detroit City FC number 13 is actually myself. I was the first player ever to play for Detroit City FC that wore that shirt back when the club started up. So hence why I kind of was asking about that. A couple of players over the years have had it myself. David Dwahey, an owner at Detroit City. And then once he gave it up, I'm not sure who had it after that, but we both, Dave and I talked yesterday and we are like, hey, another number 13. Look at this guy. He's awesome. So
hopefully I can keep the tradition, the legend keep on going.
so far,
Why did you choose number 13?
Kind of have the same thing going on, man. When I was younger, I was handed the number 13. I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. They handed me the number 13, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then,
Mhm.
the next year I was like, yeah, I'll keep that same number. And then I just kept having good season after season after season and just kept it. And now it's my number. And
Mhm.
I was hoping my kids would keep the tradition alive and want the number 13, but they actually want my dad's number, their grandfather's number. So they both went with that. I don't know, 5, whatever. All right. So how's your family settling in? Because listen, I've done a lot of traveling, just as you have. And for me, Metro Detroit is just one of the nicest areas with people being so kind. Hopefully you're finding the same and your family is finding the same as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So much. We we were walking around the neighborhood and just like it was a beautiful day. Kids are riding their bikes around. We're just loving it. My wife and I are talking about how like hey, maybe we stay here longer, post retirement or come back wherever my career takes me. Like this is nice. And as we're walking, we just see this family outside playing with the kid, and they're like talking to us and talking about the clubs, like the sailing club they're in, and getting Scarlett, my daughter, involved in that. And then we went out to dinner, and we're eating dinner, and Scarlett, my daughter, was walking around, and this lady came up and was like, "Oh, she's adorable. By the way, we have a trampoline in our front yard. Here's my address. Come over anytime to use it." And that's just like sums up my experience, and our experience here has just been everybody's been so nice. Everybody's lending a hand. It's just been very easy because, as you know, like the careers in the USL, you bounce around a lot. And this is I think my 6th USL team. And I've moved around to a different state or different city almost every single year. So just having little things like that just makes those moves worth it, and just that much easier for sure.
I'm glad to hear. Yeah, and there's a lot of players in all the pro teams here in Detroit who, once they retire, they end up
Mhm.
staying here because Detroit is so unique with the people.
And it's
Um,
funny because I don't mean to interrupt, but
no,
like
you're good.
people hear Detroit and there's this negative stigma around it a lot. And everybody I've talked to that's lived here, that's played for Detroit City, I've had a few friends in the past, Antoine Hopino, Armando Quezada, like really close friends. And I told them like, oh, I think I'm getting traded to Detroit. And immediately it's like, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be amazing, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody talks so highly of it. And then so when you talk to somebody who's never been here or never lived here, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that sucks." But if you know, you're like, "This is one of the best places I've lived."
Yeah, if you've been here and you've experienced it, yeah, you want to come back. But if you've never been, it's just that old connotation of
Yeah,
Detroit.
yeah.
Ooh, well, what is it like playing at Keyworth? So I never had the experience of playing at Keyworth. I've been to many games, but man, on the field with all the smoke and the sound, it's on the field is kind of beat up a little bit, right? But it's a unique atmosphere, and it's got to be fun, right?
Yeah, it's by far the best atmosphere in the USL. And I said that before, I'm not just saying that because I'm at Detroit City FC now. I said that back before I had even there was whisperings of me being traded to Detroit. I think there's videos of me out there saying that the best atmosphere is at Keyworth at Detroit City FC. The fans, there's not many places that you get an entire, not just section, but side of the field, length of the field that is chaining together, standing on their feet, flares. It's amazing. So the first thing that I thought of when I was being traded here was that atmosphere, that I'm going to have half the games in that atmosphere. Now it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The turf's tough on the body, but you
Yeah.
just got to do that bit extra to keep your body feeling good. Extra yoga, extra massages, extra ice baths, all that kind of stuff.
Well, you are these days, I believe, 31, correct?
Mhm.
You mentioned it earlier. I don't like to talk retirement with people because, listen, I'm telling you right now, just go as long as you can because the instant you stop, give it a week and you'll regret it. But have you done any thinking about what you would like to do post-retire, when you do retire? I know you have your YouTube channels, which are really popular. Seems like you're really good in that aspect. But is coaching come up? Has anything, working with youth players?
Mhm.
Have you put any thought to it?
Yeah, yeah, a lot. I mean, I started thinking about that when I first found out back in like 2015 how much USL players were being made or were making. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to start thinking about post soccer because I'm not gonna be retiring off this. But yeah, I think about that a lot, especially as I got into my 30s and have Scarlett, and we were talking about more kids and everything. And I want to be playing for as long as possible, especially if we could stay here for longer at Detroit City. It'd be absolutely amazing. But I definitely think I want to keep on making some form of content, whether that's pushing further into the podcast or doing more just on the YouTube channel or doing short form content on Instagram. But I want to incorporate me as a coach, coaching, bringing in high level players, semi-pros, pros, college kids, kind of telling their stories now, shifting it to their stories, their paths, and then helping them like be that facilitator, helping them, whatever their goals are, get to the next level, whatever that is, and kind of showcasing that in videos. And I've also kind of thought about being a coach. I don't think I would want to be a professional coach. I've seen how much work and the grind that goes into that, and that's a lot. Maybe a collegiate coach would be the highest level that I want, or something in an academy, but I definitely want to be involved in the game. I don't think I can step away from it ever.
My type of guy, man. Trust me. I'm the same way. I've been involved in soccer for 30 plus years, and I just can't stop watching, being involved. So when it's in the blood, man, it's in the blood.
Yeah, for sure.
Give us a little behind the scenes with you and the boys at Detroit City. Who have you become pretty good friends with? Who you kind of, you ride the bus and you ride the planes. Who's that guy who you go to sit next to and you can kind of have a little laugh and a joke with on the team?
My guy lately has been Rutsy, Connor Rutz. He's just such an interesting person that I'll just talk to him and ask questions, and it's just stuff that you never expect. Like we're on the bus and I saw this little tree. I'm like, it kind of looks like a bonsai tree. He's just like, oh yeah, I've have a couple bonsai trees. I'm like, oh, interesting, okay. And then all of a sudden he's telling me that he is building some crazy thing in his house, and then he's going shifts focus, and now he's talking about how story from high school. He's just such an interesting guy. And I like just pick his brain and just like hear the stories that he talks about. It just cracks me up every single day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I remember being part of the team, and you always have a guy or two that you sit next to, and you're like, man, you just make the time fly by. So Butts is your guy. That's awesome. Do you have any game day superstitions?
Not really. I've tried not to, because when things don't go the right way, I feel like it almost has more of a negative effect. The only thing that I like to do is some sort of nap or quiet time where I'll like just sit down on the couch or on my bed, relax a little bit, and just get some good food in, relax, try to stay off my feet a little bit, and then have some coffee, and then that's about it.
Pretty typical. All right, let's jump in. So we'll call it overseas pro soccer. You got a team you support? Is there a Liverpool, a Man United, an Aston Villa? Is there someone over there, or a Barcelona, or Real Madrid you look out for and try to make way for every game to watch?
Yeah, it's going to be the Premier League winners, Arsenal FC, for this year.
Ah, look at you. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it's been great. I mean, me and actually Rutsy have a bet going on, $20 if Man City wins the league or if it's going to be Arsenal. So
I mean, it's coming down to the wire. I got to be honest. I wouldn't bet against Man City because they've done it in the past. They're 19 unbeaten right now in the Premier League. But this is the best chance that Arsenal have had in forever. So if it's going to get done, it has to be this year. So
and I've been toughened up over the years. I've had my hopes super high and I've had it crushed. So I'm not going to be too scared if whatever happens. But yeah, I would love to take $20 from Connor Rutz.
Well, I'm going to apologize now. I'm a huge Aston Villa fan, and we took 3 points from you at the Emirates a couple of weeks
ago. That was tough.
Yeah.
Aston Villa. Why did you start supporting Aston Villa?
I had no choice. So my grandfather and my father used to live a couple of minutes away from Villa Park, and the whole family went there. And I've still got aunts and uncles and cousins who are season ticket holders and go to every game. So I had no choice, and I didn't pick Aston Villa; they picked me.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do that with my family. Scarlett, I've already gotten her watching Arsenal games, everything. So I'm really hoping to just keep that going now.
That is awesome. All right, man. Listen, you guys have had a great start to the season. 5-1 overall, 3-0 at home at Keyworth. You got 2 big games coming up here in the next week, 2 weeks. May 4th at Ludon United, and then the next home game is May 11th, 5 o'clock kickoff against Phoenix Rising. Are you guys are preparing for these games? Have you been in training, going over some tactical things, and how are you going to prepare for these upcoming games?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the credit goes to the coaching staff, Danny, and especially Yanni. They are great tactically, I think. Just scouting the next opponents, the little ways that we can break them down. And then we apply it in the training session so much about doing specific drills focused on that way that we can break down the next team. And I think that it's been great. Some guys, the video, some guys get tired of watching video and everything, but the amount that you can learn from your opponents, from yourself, from even watching other teams play. It's just like, I'm a huge proponent of video. So I've loved the transition here with how much they incorporate video, the tactics that are involved from the video, and then how much we apply it in the training sessions. And I think it's shown that we really, in most of those games, have found ways to break down our opponents and also stop them from scoring on the other end.
That's awesome, man. Matt, I appreciate you joining us here at We Are Soccer. Listen, we're going to have to do a little check-in, a little later in the year. I want you to stay healthy. We're going to come out and watch some games. We're going to get some pictures together, number 13s of old. We'll get David Dwayhe in there as well. But
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we got to get all of us wearing the 13, the old jerseys, everything. That'd be awesome. But no, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, my friend, take care.
Thank you.